Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake Akama Sarvakamo Va Mokshakama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajate Purusham Param Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Jai Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Nityaṁ Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining in this daily reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Puran. We are reading Canto 9, Chapter 20, entitled The Dynasty of Maharaj Pūru. So we are talking about Dushmanta and Shakuntala, how they got married and how their son was very powerful. We read about the son as well. And in the last few verses, we were discussing that how when Dushmanta did not, when Shakuntala came to Dushmanta after a long time, then Dushmanta did not recognize. And then a voice from the sky told that actually Dushmanta is the father of the child. And then he accepted. So then the qualities of Dushmanta are also shared, and the glories of and the activities of Dushmanta are shared. So let's move on to the next verse. Triyastrishmascha chatam hyashvan baddha vishmapayan ripan Dashmante atyagan devanam guru ayayo. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushmanta, bound 3,300 horses for those sacrifices. And thus he astonished all other kings. He surpassed even the opulent the demigods, for he achieved the supreme spiritual master, Hari. Purport. One who achieves the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead certainly surpasses all material wealth, even that of the demigods in the heavenly planets. Yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tataha. The achievements of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the most exalted achievement in life. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So very, very deep words to meditate upon. What's the biggest achievement in life one can achieve? Is it a high-paying job? Is it a big home? Is it a big car? Big bank balance? A lot of followers? No, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam explains the lotus feet of the Lord. One whose mind is attached to Krishna's lotus feet, for such a person has attained the biggest of all achievements. Like Srila Rupa Goswami. And we know the story of the Chintamani jewel. So one time a thief came to Sanatana Goswami and asking, hey Goswami, gee, I know that you have something very precious. Can you give me that jewel? And he said, oh yeah, that one. Yeah, it's in the trash bin. You go and collect from there. And he found it there. He found it. He went. He was very happy. It was real Chintamani jewel. But you must be thinking, what kind of things we keep in trash? Generally, all of us have trash bins at our homes and outside the community, outside as well. So what kind of things we keep? The things which are we don't need anymore, right? Which we want to get rid of, which are of lowest priority or value addition to us. We don't keep our important books or papers or things which are good and in working condition. What to speak of very precious things like jewelry, wallet, credit card. So we don't keep those things. But Rupa Goswami, Satana Goswami, they were keeping this in the trash box, in the dustbin. Why? Because they had a very, very precious thing. And that's what this thief was also thinking. What they must have, because they are giving this priority, the least priority to this thing, which everyone is giving the highest priority. So they must have something really, really, really precious. So what is that? And then they gave him the Harinam. So this is the most precious thing is Krishna consciousness. And one who has Krishna consciousness, whatever is needful will come. Like how Bharat, now the name is revealed here, the son we were talking about of Dushmanta and Shakuntala is named Bharat. And he did multiple horse sacrifices and very, very powerful. Strength surpassed even the demigods. So, as one knows Krishna Bhakta, all the Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanu Tatra Śrī Vijaya Bhute Dhruva Nitir Matir. There will be victory, opulence, all good will be there. Of this there is no doubt. When Vidura, who was speaking this? Who was speaking Sanjaya. Sanjaya speaking this verse. So in short, one should try to have the greatest achievement in life. All the other achievements, big or small, will anyways fade away. Therefore, this is the greatest, because this achievement is not going to fade away with time, is not going to end with the end of the life. It's going to always be eternal. This is eternal achievement. Even little progress, what to speak of developing pure love. So we should also try to follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Bharat and develop unalloyed attachment at Krishna's lotus feet. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, I think Sampada and Lakshay wanted to read yesterday, couldn't get a chance, so maybe we'll start with you. Yes, Sampada, Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Kṛṣṇa. 628. Mrikan Chukla Tata Krishna Niranyena Parivutan Adat Karmani Masnare Niyutani Chaturdasaha. Dasa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. When Maharaj Bharata performed a sacrifice known as Masnara, or a sacrifice in the place known as Masnara, he gave in charity 14 lakhs of excellent elephants with white tusks and black bodies, completely covered with golden ornaments. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So this just shows how opulent was Maharaj Bharat. In fact, the whole land, this Bharat is different from Rishabdev's elder son, who's also named Bharat. So Bharat Varsha is known because of him and because of this great Bharat also. So nowadays, seeing the elephant with white tusks is a rare thing. What to speak of giving 14 lakh? That's 1.4 million elephants. Can you imagine? In Hindi, there's a proverb that Hati Palna sabke bas ki baat nahi. Hati Palna. To raise elephants as pets, can anyone do it? No. To raise a bird as pet, it's easy. Bird does not eat much. Bird does not need space. Just think about to have an elephant as pet. You need a good amount of space. You can't have in a condo elephant pet, right? You can have a bird pet maybe, or a tiny cat. But can we have for those in a small apartment? You can't have elephant as pet. Just think about what to speak. We're not encouraging pets and all that stuff. But the point is, it's just a sign of the great opulence. That what to speak of, he didn't just have that. He gave in charity 1.4 million excellent elephants. Wow. Covered with golden ornaments. So 1.5 million golden ornaments also. So it just shows the magnanimity of the great king, the strength, the magnanimity, the charitable disposition. Nowadays, what to speak of, all this, we've discussed this one. You went to take out $5-10 for a spiritual cause. Not everyone does that. What to speak of. For an amusement park, you'll happily spend $500. But for a charitable spiritual cause, $50 seems to be an extraordinary amount. So we can learn from these examples. Oh, he had the potency and power and heart also, not just potency and power. The heart is also required. So he did that. He could do 1.4 million elephants and cover them in gold. And we all know, honestly, if we introspect. So in short, we should at least appreciate the charitable disposition and try to follow in the footsteps to time, place, situation. Okay, any other thoughts anyone has?
Yeah, quick question on this. He gave in charity. So did he give that to the Brahmanas or did he to the population? It's not stated there. So I'm just wondering.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you, Prabhu, for this nice question. So here it's mentioned that when he performed the sacrifice, so basically he performed multiple Ashwamedh sacrifices, and in that sacrifices, it's certainly very important to give in charity. Yes, it's not mentioned here, but it is the Vedic culture to give charity to the Brahmanas or to the needy. So it's not specifically mentioned, but certainly Brahmanas would be one of those who he must have given in charity, besides others as well, which and I think that previously we also read about he gave cows, right? He distributed so many cows, Maharaj Bharat. So Maharaj Bharat did that actually in text number 24 to 26. If you go to the last line of the translation, he established a sacrifice on the excellent site and distributed great wealth to the Brahmanas. We read that. Indeed, he distributed so many cows that each of the thousands of the Brahmanas had one Badwa, 13,000 cows as his share. Just imagine, 13,000 times thousands. So he also gave millions of cows. His father, I mean, referring to. No, actually, it's not referring to his father. It's referring to Maharaj Bharat himself. In text number 23 to onwards. So he did give cows to the Brahmanas and he also gave elephants on other occasions. So it just shows his magnanimity. Millions of number. Does that help?
Yes, oh yeah, certainly. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll read the next verse, text 29. Akshay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Bharatasya mahat karma na purve na pare ripa naiva pur na naiva prapsya anti bahubhyam kridivam yata. Translation: as one cannot approach the heavenly planets simply by the strength of his arms, for who can touch the heavenly planet with his hands? One cannot imitate the wonderful activities of Maharaj Bharata. No one could perform such activities in the past, nor will anyone be able to do so in the future. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, extraordinary king, extraordinary strength, extraordinary charitable disposition. So all these are not any Tom, Dick, Harry does not possess that. We cannot imitate. No one can imitate, other than if Krishna personally chooses or sends his representatives or empowers. So the point is, ordinary people cannot imitate that, and neither there will be such a great personality like him. That's the point here. Just think about 1 point, like millions of elephants giving in charity, millions of cows giving in charity, millions of gold. It's certainly very, very great. One cannot imitate the wonderful activities. The point here is, if someone tries to jump or tries to touch the heaven by the arms, it cannot be done artificially. So we should not try to imitate the activities of great soul. We can take the principles. The principle is charitable disposition. The principle is magnanimity. The principle is compassion. The principle is Krishna consciousness. But of course, we can't imitate it. And so not Anukaran, but Anusaran. So following in the footsteps, we can take the principles, keep them as our role models, and try our best to not to have a like imitation mood, but to take inspiration and then do our best. Because if we try to imitate, then we'll just fall down. So this is Bharat Maharaj. It's great character. Text 30. What wants to read? Vaswati Mataji, want to try? Raghu Prabhu, want to try?
Yes, I can read. Hare Krishna devotees, text 30. Kirata Hunan Yavanan Paudran Kankan Kasan Chakan Abramanya Naprams Chahan Mlechan Dig Vijaye Kilan. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. When Maharaj Bharat was on tour, he defeated or killed all the Kiratas, Hunas, Yamanas, Poundras, Kankas, Kashas, Shakas, and the kings who are opposed to the Vedic principles of Brahmanical culture. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So this is real leadership. To maintain law and order, to give in charity, and to uproot the irreligious elements. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To establish religion and to destroy the miscreants. Krishna descends again and again in different forms, in different incarnations. So here, Bharat is also the plenary, partial plenary incarnation. We read about the marks also. So basically, he did not let irreligious principles harbor in the kingdom, because it's a duty of the king to make sure the praja, who's like the children, makes progress in the spiritual direction. Otherwise, one should not become a king, one should not become a guru, one should not become a mother or a father or a demigod until one can na mochayetya samupreta mrityum, until one can take the responsibilities of the dependents to deliver them from the cycle of birth and death. So Bharat Maharaj was an ideal king, an ideal leader, an ideal servant, an ideal devotee, an ideal everything. So being a servant of the praja, it's the duty of the Kshatriya king to not let the miscreants cause, who are opposed to Vedic principles. Basically, the king has to ensure that all the people are following the Vedic principles. That's a great responsibility. Otherwise, the king will get the sin. 1/6 of the share of the sin committed by any praja or the members under his care will go to the king. It's a very big responsibility. Okay, so but he did that in an excellent way by uprooting all these miscreants. Text 31. So, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Honorable devotees, Dhanava Pranam, all go to Śrīla Prabhupada, text 31. Jita Pura Shura Devan Ye Rasho Kamshi Bhejire Devo Striyo Rasham Nita Anayabhi Punar Ahrat. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vinod Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada with joy. Formerly, after conquering the demigods, all the demons had taken shelter in the lower planet system known as Rasatala, and had brought all the wives and daughters of the demigods there also. Maharaj Bharat, however, rescued all those women along with their associates from the clutches of the demons, and he returned them to the demigods. So, Maharaj Bharat, who is a partial incarnation of the Lord, as you just told that eliminating all the demons or other who are not following the Brahmanical culture or Vedic culture, as well as also protecting the Lord's devotees such as demigods. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Here we see protection of the Brahmanical culture. In the last verse, and protection of women. Very, very important duty. Protection of women, Brahmanical culture, children, and old people, and cows. Very, very important to society. Namo Brahmani Devaya Go Brahmani Tacha Krishna Govindaya. So because women are giving, they are the container to continue the dynasty, to great sannyasis, great brahmacharis, great grihasthas, great vanaprasthas have one thing in common. They all came from their mothers. So whether one is brahmachari or grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasi, they all came from mothers. So it's very, very important for the protection of the women here, namely the wives and the daughters of demigods, who the demigods, the demons had taken in Rasatal. So it's, the king was so powerful that he could go to Rasatal to protect, to rescue these, because his strength was unparalleled. As we discussed, there was no one equal in strength to him. Okay. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, let's read the next verse. Would someone like to read? Wasn't a good chance today or yesterday. Devaki Mataji, you want to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I try?
Yes, yes, please.
Text 32.
Hare Krishna
Sarvana.
Prabhuji. Okay, Mataji.
Devaki Mataji, you can read the next one. Let her read this. She will start.
Sarvana kamana duduhatu tum prajanam tasya rodasi samastrina vasaha sridruchu chakrama vartayata. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaja Bharata provided all necessities for his subjects both on this earth and in the heavenly planets for 27,000 years. He circulated his orders and distributed his soldiers in all directions. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So nowadays, this interplanetary travel may be inconceivable to us, but from these verses we see that yes, Bharat Maharaj is going to Sutalok, he's going to help the demigods, he's providing necessities for his subjects in the upper planetary systems. So for a pure devotee, nothing is impossible. Like in this modern age, we can understand this, like someone could be living in India, but their relative could be in a different country, and they may be, or their child could be studying in US or Europe, right? But they send their fees and the hostel lodging and whatnot, right? So it's not heavenly planets, but it's kind of a different country. So inter-country travel is possible. Interplanetary travel is not possible, or it's very limited, because we are going into the Kali Yuga in different ages. All these things are, we are only focused very narrow scope of the universe. But Bharat Maharaj, just think about like this. Okay, his subjects were in some other planets, and he was able to take care and also visit periodically. Like he helped demigods, he rescued from the Sutaloka. So that way we can connect things. 27,000 years, very long time. Okay, let's see what happens further. Yes, Devaki Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna everyone. Samrada Luka Palakyam Aishwaryam Adhirachayam Chakram Shaskalitam Pranan Nisheti Uparara Ramaha. Translation by Śrī Prabhupada ki jai. As the ruler of the entire universe, Emperor Bharat had the opulence of a great kingdom and unconquerable soldiers. His sons and family had seemed to him to be his entire life. But finally, he thought of all this as an impediment to spiritual advancement, and therefore he ceased from enjoying it. Purport. Maharaj Bharat had incomparable opulence in sovereignty, soldiers,
You went on mute, Mataji. Can't hear you. Can you please unmute?
Sorry, Prabhuji. Maharaj Bharat had an incomparable opulence in sovereignty, soldiers,
Yeah, again, it's going on mute. I don't know what's going on. Soldiers, sons, daughters.
and everything for material enjoyment. But when he realized that all such material opulence were useless for spiritual advancement, he retired from material enjoyment. The Vedic civilization enjoins that after a certain age, following in the footsteps of Maharaj Bharat, one should cease to enjoy material opulences and should take the order of Vanaprastha. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, just think about the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Did Lakshay or Ved or Sampada, did you learn that verse? It was 2 weeks back. Gave Aishwarasya Samagrasya Viryasya Vishashriya, the 6 opulence of the Supreme. Okay, that's fine.
Not yet, Prabhuji.
So this is a famous verse which talks about the 6 opulence of the Supreme Lord: wealth, fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. Shriya. Wealth, knowledge, fame, beauty, and strength. Now, if anyone has this in this world, they become very, very proud. Like the beautiful person is very proud of their beauty. Oh, I'm Miss World. Oh, I'm Mr. World. A wealthy person will be very proud. Oh, I'm millionaire. Oh, I'm billionaire. No one is more. I have all the cars I need. I have all whatever. Or same with strength. I'm the heavyweight champion and whatnot. Or same with fame. Oh, I have 10 million followers. I have 20 million followers. All this leads to basically fall down. But to have renunciation in spite of having all these qualities in extraordinary amount, millions of elephants given in charity covered with gold ornaments. No ordinary person can do that. So only one who has like extraordinary wealth. And of course, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And here he is the plenary portion, who also is like an empowered being sent by the Supreme Lord. But now here, being the ideal leader, he is also showing us a great example that in spite of having all that, in spite of having millions of elephants, the best of the queens and family and this and that and kingdom, people, followers, were already considered, had uncomparable opulence. But he realized that such material opulences were useless for spiritual advancement. Very important point. That's what Kunti Maharani also says, Janma Ishware Shruta Shribi, that in fact rather they become bondage. Because then one becomes more entangled. But these Rajarishis were not like that. Parikshit Maharaj also had unlimited opulence, great king. Kardam Muni also. So many examples we take. They all took the renounced order. When Parikshit Maharaj was told 7 days only, he was not suffering. He was not, oh, what will happen to my wealth? What will happen to my kingdom? Okay, you take care of this, you take care of this. Let me write a will. Let me write this. Let me, if one has 7 days, one will, let me see my uncle, let me see my aunt, let me see my this wife, this son, that son. 7 days, one, just think about if one has the last 7 days, one wants to meet, oh, I want to see my son, my grandson, my this, my dad, my will, my money, my bank balance, oh, my land, oh, my this, my car. Everyone, is so. But Parikshit Maharaj, the moment he got the notice, that's it. Never look back. It's the example is given, then as if one goes and after clearing the bowels, one doesn't look back. There's one is happily relieves it and happily exits it. So because they have the great sense of renunciation. So in spite of having all that he had, extraordinary opulence, he was not attached. Rather, at the right time, after ruling for the right age, 27,000 years, doing all his duties in an extraordinary way, destroying the irreligion. Same Parikshit Maharaj also, he destroyed the religion. And later, he did renunciation to set the right example. Mahajanayena gata sapantam. Took the order of Vanaprastha, so went to the forest for complete unalloyed attachment without distractions. Because ruling, kingdom, expansion, droids, and so many things are there. Management, mantri, santri, wives, children, grandchildren, so many things are there. So at the right time, he moved on. So this is the renunciation. So we see basically all the great qualities: extraordinary wealth, extraordinary strength, playing, helping even the demigods. Compassion we see here, charitable disposition we see here, beauty, his beautiful body marks are also shared, and his fame, certainly the demigods came for help and very dear to everyone, and he was never defeated by anyone, rather killed all the religious elements. And finally, his strength or opulence of renunciation, which is very, very rare. Who wants to give up? Just think about these days in the politics. They don't want to give up their mantri or cabinet minister, this minister, chief minister, prime minister, even at the age of 70 years, 80 years. That's basically time for sannyas, the final lap of life. What to speak of final lap? But many people get heart attacks and they die in their ruling term. So working till death. So no one wants to give up money, fame, name, position. Rather, they want to exploit as much as possible. But Bharat Maharaj showed that that's not the case. He voluntarily chose. That's a very important point. If you don't voluntarily choose to exit at the right time, exit means wind up the lot of material activities and take full shelter of Krishna and be more Krishna conscious, more active engagement in seva. If we don't voluntarily choose it, then death will forcibly make us choose it. So better is more intelligent choices. And by that time, if one is sincerely trying from the beginning, one has developed that mature consciousness also till about 50 years or so, that and then a lot of realizations life will give through family, through children, through job, through business, that the real stuff is bhakti only, nothing else. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Anyone wants to add anything? Vipul Prabhu, Sudhir Prabhu, Prabir Prabhu, anyone to add any comments? Or any additions to these texts? The theme is changing from the next verse. We can maybe do that tomorrow. But if we have any comment or two, we can share that. Anyone wants to add anything or ask? Okay, then. So maybe a quick announcement time. So I just want to share with all of you about this retreat, which is coming very soon, in a few weeks' time. So opening the page, so you can see that Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna. So this retreat is called Mantra. So it's a retreat for men, although in Bhakti, the spirit soul, but it's organized from last couple of years. 1 year it was before the COVID, it was in person in Vrindavan, but here this will be online. So His Grace Nityaṁ Prabhu and his many other senior devotees are present here in this retreat. Korvani Prabhu, Radhika Raman Prabhu, Bhakti Rasam, the Bhagavad Maharaj, so it also did directed drama. So this is going to be wonderful. So I encourage all the men. So this is only for men. There are other multiple programs, resources, retreats, etc. for women also. Basically, it gives a safe and common platform to discuss thoughts, develop good, like-minded association, discuss ideas, challenges, because we all are going through different challenges. So it's a very nice thing from 12 to 14, which is basically a weekend, Friday to Sunday. Yeah, Friday to Sunday. It will be virtual. That means through Zoom. There will be breakout sessions, activities, dramas. So I think it will be fun. Guest speakers include Yogeshwar Prabhu, Mahatma Prabhu, Radhika Raman Prabhu, Ram Guru Mata Chita Mohara Prabhu, and many more. So I highly encourage, in fact, Mata Prabhu and Rukmini Mataji personally told me to let everyone know about this event. So I highly encourage, recommend that there's no much prerequisites in all. The only criteria is anyone above 18 years of age, the male body can join. So I'll share the link, and I recommend you all to please join and share with your friends and other congregation members of whom you think can benefit from this wonderful opportunity. So any questions before we pause or stop for today? Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyaiva cha paritānā pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Hare Kṛṣṇa, thank you so much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.